Alright, so I think for this review, I'm going to be Godzilla, you're Mothra.
You ready for the battle?
Ready?
Alright, this is the most important fight! Mothra's gonna win! And that's our conclusion of the movie.
Yeah, I think you guys are there?
I'm pretty sure that's how he felt too, the guy in the suit.
I'm gonna move around for the rest of the review. Listen up, Rangers. Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve.
And my name's Arnes.
And today we're gonna go over the movie Godzilla vs. the Thing.
Or was it versus the Mothra?
Something like that.
They call it both. Mothra the Thing. So which one is it?
Whatever you want it to be.
Sweet.
So pretty much for the premise of this movie, Mothra eggs randomly in the middle of a hurricane get washed up onto Japanese shores. Some Japanese realtors decide to buy the egg, want to hoard all the money from the sales, screwing everybody over. This movie is also about embezzlement.
Which actually, it's what makes the movie amazing. It's not just monster fighting. There's an actual storyline to it, plus the Godzilla and Mothra fighting.
Yeah, then of course Godzilla shows up, wants to break the egg. Mothra doesn't want him to break the egg. And that's how we get our epic conflict.
Which, I don't know, why did he want to break the egg for?
I don't know, scrambled eggs. I like eggs. Everybody likes eggs.
I like sunny side up, though.
I like them scrambled. Son.
That's why you wear the Godzilla mask.
Yep. Ready to break some eggs open. So starting with the plot, I actually really like this movie, even though compared to the other three Godzilla films, it's actually probably the slowest in terms of plot.
Well, the reason why it's slow is because it's got the extra plot on the side about the whole stealing money, murder, because he murders that guy. And yeah, it's just, there's actual...
shooting bitches.
He's like, where my money at? Bam! But overall plot on my side is really good. I like how it has more than just one thing going on. It's just two monsters fighting. It's got an actual storyline to it.
Yeah, there's other stuff going on behind the scenes other than just trying to get the monsters to fight. Which, the plot still, that's pretty much what it's trying to do, is it's trying to get our two protagonists and the villain to get together in order to have their epic brawls. Which, for the most part, it works pretty well. It's still kind of confusing on why Godzilla was really going after the egg. It was kind of like he just showed up and was like, I'm going to walk in that direction. And the egg is conveniently over that way as well.
Yeah, because he could have walked any other way he wanted to, but he just went, his radar was just go.
That way. It's migrating just right towards it. The other cool thing about this movie, too, is, off the top of my head, it is probably the weirdest of the Godzilla entrances in all of the Godzilla films for me. Because it's literally, they had the tsunami. Everything gets washed away. They pump all the water out of the town, and then you get all destroyed rubble and all the dirt. So, somewhere in the entire process of this, Godzilla got covered up by the sand and decides to rise up out of it, and that's how we get our introduction to him in this film. And it's
I thought that was the epic part. I don't know what happened to him, but he was somewhere sleeping.
It was cool. It's different. It's different than coming off an iceberg or just kind of showing up, you know?
Yeah. Well, he was drinking. So that's how it happened. He was drinking. He passed out. Hurricane gang swept him up, and he just woke up, and he was like, what's going on?
What is this?
What is
Why
this?
am I covered in dirt? What do you guys do?
That's why he got pissed.
He's buried alive. He's not the Undertaker.
It explains the whole, look on his face, the whole,
He's kind of got that hungover look, his
Yeah.
eyes just glazed over still. He's huh? But for the most part, the build-up towards this fight, though, does take a while to get to. You get introduced to the egg pretty quickly, but then it's oh, hey, there's this egg. Then there's people that want to buy the egg, and there's people that want to study the egg, and yet then they're trying to embezzle more people, and then the embezzler gets embezzled by the other guy that's in charge of everything.
That guy had an amazing mustache.
I do love the guy's mustache, so I'll give him that. But you got all this random little plot filling, which I kind of appreciate because it's actually got a little bit more, I guess, in-depth story compared to the other three. But it's still in the vein of still being kind of lighthearted. Or at least lighthearted, whereas there's still a lot of jokes. I don't feel like the tone's super serious in comparison to, say, 54, 55.
Not yet.
Yeah, definitely not yet. Actually, we really don't get back to there till the Heisei era, in terms of the movies actually being super serious.
I thought this was serious. people get shot over money. I mean, I felt like I was in a gangster movie.
Yeah, I felt like I was back in Detroit.
Yeah. I thought it was serious.
I know. I'm sorry. Okay, serious film. My bad.
Yeah.
There's totally isn't random fairy girls singing like every 5 minutes.
What was that song again, Steve? You know it. Scene 1.
There's not even lyrics.
20 minutes later, scene 2, they're still singing.
Yeah, they come back to the people. The little fairy girls are just still singing there.
I was like, oh god.
Which it doesn't hurt the plot at all, because especially if you see Mothra movies, you're expecting this. There's going to be random singing of tribal people and fairies.
In all the Mothra movies?
Yeah, in all of them.
How many is there?
Quite a few.
Oh god. If it has anything like this one, we're not watching it.
Yeah, well, yeah, we are.
I stopped watching this right after the Godzilla Mothra fight, and he made me finish it.
we had to keep watching it.
No.
We gotta finish it for the review.
Okay, go ahead.
So, as in terms of Arnes, he seems to not appreciate this movie quite as much as me.
No. The plot was okay. It was a lot better than the other ones because it had more than just, hey, let's get these two guys to fight. That's it, you know?
Yeah.
So, that section is good. I'll give that one thumbs up.
So pretty much once we got past the embezzlement parts where the movie kind of lost you.
Yeah, it was up climb, and it's just the roller coaster went straight down like, burn.
Alright, well, I guess we'll move on to the next part, which is the costumes. Alright, so this is where I might get a little bit of heat here. For the 64 suit, actually not my favorite. Actually, on the total poll, it's actually probably a little bit down there for me personally.
We agree on something. Yeah.
Because for the most part, like, it's a fine-looking Godzilla suit. There's worse, trust me. But it's just the way some of the effects are done for this film. Because there's one scene, mainly in particular, I've seen with the costume that starts bugging me, and then it kind of shows up here and there throughout some of the fight scenes. Is that, like, when he rises up out of the wreckage from when they clean out the tsunami, is that you can definitely tell that for some odd reason, the head isn't hooked very well to whatever steel body that they have hooked up to underneath the suit. Because he has that weird, like, droopy jaw kind of jowl movement where he's like... You just see it, like, shifting all the time. It's just something that just kind of bugs me a little bit. Like, in terms of the overall head sculpt, looks okay. Although he has huge eyebrows. He has bigger eyebrows than my grandpa.
Yeah, it's
like,
pretty bad.
That's saying something.
And then, like, in certain scenes, it doesn't show up. And then, yet, later on, it shows up again. So it's...
Yeah, when they do, like, some of the close-up scenes, it's not as as easily seen. And then there's, like, some scenes with where they use the close-ups for, like, the puppets and stuff. Like, oh. Like, there's one in particular that actually, when we were rewatching it actually bugged me a little bit more, is where his tail gets stuck on the tower, and he goes to pull his tail out, tower knocks over, falls out, and I don't know what the hell they did, like, getting my Godzilla mask. We're going to give you guys a little bit of a visual of what we saw, where building falls on him, he's like, Yarr!
What was that, 34
like,
minutes?
Spasming after it hits. It's just like, why? Don't understand.
Oh, are you talking about that, like, half a second scene, the face?
Yeah, we're just like, it's like, he like does like almost
that.
exorcist movements. And then there's like other ones where like he's fighting Mothra, and it literally like his head goes kink.
She broke his neck
like,
twice.
His head just like, it doesn't move like that. It shouldn't move like that.
No, I'm telling you, she broke his neck twice. He's just indestructible.
Yeah, it's Godzilla. He's impervious to pain, I guess. I'm pretty sure my neck just goes like full 360 out of nowhere.
But he's weak to electricity, which I still don't understand.
Which is kind of cool because how it kind of ties in with King Kong versus Godzilla is where he comes out of that like tsunami wreckage. It's because at the end of the movie, you see King Kong swimming away. Don't know what happens with Godzilla. So of course you kind of imagine he's kind of chilling around somewhere in the Japanese shores, which makes sense. Works. And then they also keep up with his weakness for electricity with this film. Where they're like dropping the nets on him and stuff, and he seems to be working, and then stuff happens.
It was working until they destroyed it in themselves. Godzilla's dying. How do we make this better? Turn up electricity.
Crank up the voltage. It's too much, Captain!
Do it anyway.
Do it anyway. Of course.
What?
Yeah, they're
Why?
like, I love how they just go, alright, moving on to Planet C. Get the fuck out of here.
Planet C, run!
Peace out. Then getting back on topic, What about the Mothra suit? Or puppets? No!
That explains everything. Do I need to go into any more details?
I like the Mothra puppet. Granted, it's one of those, like, certain aspects of her are definitely a lot better.
What?
Because there's, like...
Stop the fuck out of here!
See this
That
abuse?
was horrible!
Because at certain aspects of the movie, like, I really enjoy it. We actually ended up finishing watching on VHS, because I literally own all the Godzilla movies on VHS. Like, every single one of them. Except for, I think, Millenniums are the ones I'm missing a few. But... So, we can watch all the movies. So we ended up watching the fight on VHS, which actually really helps, because I love watching these older movies on VHS, because the grainy quality actually kind of helps with the overall, I guess, ambiance is the best word I'm going to use for this.
High def just brings out the
Yeah, you just start noticing all the problems in high def, while VHS, it helps to hide a lot more stuff, especially with the wires. But with some of the shots of Mothra, like, when they have, like, her and Godzilla together, looks awesome. When they're doing, like, her, in, like, fast action sequences where she's, like, flapping her wings, trying to blow Godzilla into the egg for reasons. But anyways, she came to save the egg and trying to smash Godzilla on top of it. Don't know. But for, like, those sequences, okay, it doesn't look quite as good as it probably could have been, because you can definitely tell, like, the fuzz and the way the head is. Because they use, in the film, like, they'll have, like, multiple puppets for different scenes.
The entire fighting scene, they were not together in the whole shot. The entire fighting scene. All you seen was like either the tail.
She grabbed his tail and drags him.
She drags a piece of plastic toy. Get out of here. Don't you lie to me.
She looked fine.
She was, like, one scene, she's just, like, flapping her wings like this. And another scene, Godzilla's like this. And it's like they just put the two CGIs together, so all you see is the wings and his arms and legs like this.
That's CGI, people. But anyways, continue.
It was horrible. Horrible. I don't want to... No.
My only main problem with the fight, for me, is that there's not really a whole lot that goes on. It's pretty much, she flaps her wings at him, almost knocks him over. She grabs his tail, he blows some atomic breath, and she sprinkles her wing dust on him. That's the fight. And it's not as elaborate as I would have really liked it to have been. But, like, they do a lot more with Mothra later on in the series. And then there's also another suits we get to go over are the Mothra larvas. Which...
You can see the wheels. You can see the wheels.
If you're looking.
On VHS. I wonder how it looks like on DVD.
Moving on. But for the overall suits for those, I don't mind them. Yeah, granted, the faces are kind of, like, you hit things with a shovel repeatedly. But for the time, it works really well. Like, they look gross. Which my favorite thing, too, is when they're busting out of the eggs and they're sitting there like, oh, there's two of them. That's so adorable. And it literally looks like a bulldog. It's like trying to crunch its way out of the...
Yeah, they're like playing like all this adorable music, and these two hideous, nasty things just broke out of the egg.
Like something out of a horror movie.
Yeah.
Like something like Guillermo del Toro would have in his movies. Like just crashing out of the egg. Everybody's like, oh, that's so cute.
You know, I don't get this movie with just, yeah.
Well, like, the effects for them work really good, too, where they're, like, kind of, like, doing the wobbly motion.
They're doing the worm. I was just waiting for that. I was. But it never happened.
We watched a lot of wrestling.
What's wrestling?
If you guys didn't know.
What's wrestling? Sweet, do I get to keep it?
No! Oh, God.
Oh, man. How do you see out of this thing?
Told you. It's impossible. Also, it's like 100 degrees hotter in there than what it is out here.
Why would you buy this thing?
So, personally, the Mothra larvas, they're good. Like, especially for the time. I really liked them. The one looked a little bit better than the other one. Especially in some of the scenes. It's just, like, some of the scenes you're like, oh, that actually looks really nice. And then some of the scenes you're like, eh. My favorite thing, too, about Mothra is why is she always having a seizure? Like, in some of the scenes, especially, like, when she was,
explain why she
quote-unquote,
so fast.
dying, she's just, like, just constantly shaking.
That's why she died so fast.
Yeah, they're like, he has to go back to kill Godzilla, and they're like, she's expending her energy. Well, yeah, spazzing out like that. I imagine you get tired pretty quick.
Should we go over the fight for the Godzilla and the larvas? Or should we just?
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that's beyond PG-13 fighting scene.
Okay, special effects. We'll start with the Godzilla Mothra larva scene, which is essentially everybody getting hot loads in the face.
That's all it is.
Which actually, when I was a kid, I always thought was kind of cool. Not the load, but then like the way they did the fight was pretty cool. Where you just have the two Mothras just spraying silk at Godzilla, and Godzilla kind of get blinded like when you're wearing this mask, and he's just kind of just spraying atomic breath everywhere.
It's not atomic breath.
And he's like kicking rocks at them. The Mothras bite on their tail. First time this has happened.
Oh,
it'll happen more.
That was actually a really good scene. Where
that scene where he's
tail.
like, just bites his tail. Godzilla, what's getting you? And just
he got pissed. Like that guy got pissed in that suit. You can tell he was mad. He did not
like you can tell the actor inside of it was also angry. This is how awesome this scene is. It's just like Mothra larva's just flailing up, and then once it finally lets go, Godzilla's like beating at it with its tail, which is something you see a lot in this movie. Is Godzilla's tail is probably used the most we have seen, at least in the 4 movies, because it gets stuck on buildings. He hits buildings with it, like he's trying to beat the egg open with his tail. Then Mothra's grabbing his tail. Yeah, Mothra larvas are grabbing his tail.
That's one thing I didn't like about that fight scene is when Godzilla beats up Monster Musume scene.
I'm not going any farther. It's like the Godzilla suit doesn't really have any problems either. It's mainly just the floppy jaws kind of bother me a little bit in terms of this suit, and then the ginormous eyebrows. But for the most part, it's a pretty good Godzilla outfit. Like, I still have the Monster Arts version of the toy too.
He's making fun of you. It's okay.
And the Mothra puppet, no matter what he says, I still personally think looks okay.
Don't listen to Steve. He's lying to you. That thing is atrocious.
It's
horrible.
And I was going to move on
I
and
hope
say,
it gets better. It's horrible.
Moving on.
I'm a screaming goat.
Yeah.
Trying to...
Alright. Moving on to the next guy. And then surprisingly, I'm going to take everything away from everything over here. Give me it.
No, I'll stop. I promise.
And the funny thing is, for most
Steve, can you guess where his dragon breath comes from? Here, just take it. Just take it.
Thank you. And one thing about this movie, too, that's actually really good is actually the overall props used for this film actually look legit throughout the entire movie.
They went back to the toys.
Yeah, like they're using toys. They look good. A lot of the scenes that they're incorporating in them look fine. Some of the other props were kind of like, what? Like, there's melting boulders? Like, they're not even melting. Like, they like deflate like a basketball.
That was the best scene. His atomic breath was so good that it melted the boulders, and like it just didn't melt them; it deflated them.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And then there's also scenes like with the jets actually look really nice in this. The electric scene we were talking about, like there's like these helicopters drop nets on the Godzilla and they're electrocute. That actually looks really nice.
It was actual electricity.
Yeah, like it looks like electricity. It looks good. Godzilla's atomic breath. Actually, again, we're getting better as the series is progressing so far.
I think they upgraded. It's not a fire.
Yeah, it's just like he just gets better. And even like a lot of like the green screen kind of shots overall look really good throughout the majority of the movie. The only one that kind of was a little bit off is pretty much, I don't want to say the first introduction of the fairies, but there's like a scene with like them in the tree where you can kind of, that's one of the scenes where you can tell that they're definitely on a different plane. But throughout most of the rest of the movie, it looks fine, looks good.
You forgot the final scene where the kids are in the background and they're still in front of the boulder in front of the kids.
Oh, yeah. It still looked okay.
No,
trust me, we're going to get the worst. It's okay.
Even on VHS,
okay. It looks fine.
Even on VHS, the kids in the background were fuzzy.
At least it's not a painting. You haven't gotten to the paintings yet.
Oh god, this is going to get interesting.
We're going to get to some of the ones that I don't really like as much.
Okay, let's finish this so we can start the next one.
Alright. But pretty much overall for the props, it works really good. And it's definitely probably the best that we've gotten in the series so far. The only one I would say is comparable is probably 54, mainly because it's black and white and just stuff looks a lot better in black and white. So overall with this movie, I still actually really like this film. In terms of, for me anyways, it's probably my least favorite out of the lot though. I actually enjoyed all of 3 of the other ones slightly more, mainly because just the build-up for this movie just takes a little bit too long for my liking, personally. Because in King Kong vs. Godzilla, you kind of get like little treats here and there throughout the movie. And it keeps you invested. 55, same way. You actually get Godzilla and Anguirus pretty early on, and then they kind of like hint at him throughout the rest of it. Keeps you interested. And then 54 is just a freaking masterpiece of a movie. I still definitely recommend checking out this Godzilla movie. It's definitely still really good. Has him fighting another iconic monster. Props look amazing in it. The suits look pretty good as well.
Overall, if you want to watch a Mothra movie, just skip this, okay? But if you're watching it and the dude's getting hot load to their face, go for it. This is your type of movie. Watch it. I'm just gonna... No. No.
No, you don't promote this one?
No, I don't. I can't get behind a Mothra. It looked so bad. I'm so sorry, but it did. I know people are gonna hate me, but that was horrible. Like the scenes with it was just bad. Bad.
I could see where you're getting behind, because again, Arnes has never really watched any of these Godzilla movies before, so this is his first time getting into them. I've grown up with them, so I got definitely some nostalgia, let alone other stuff involved in
you
mine.
respect it because you know what it is. I'm over here respecting it for what it is, and what it is exactly what that Mothra is on the floor, where it belongs, on the floor.
Aww.
Still, though, some of the scenes in it and the props they used made it a lot better.
Yeah. So I guess overall, I enjoy this movie. Arnes, not so much. But what do you guys think? Please let us know in the comments section below what you guys thought of this movie. Love to talk to you guys about it. Help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button. Can't stop rotating. Whee! Subscribe to become a ranger today, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. Oh, God.
He's eating everything. Godzilla's out of control again.